Hello, welcome to International Student Orientation, our introduction to ICP. I just want to review some logistics before we get started. Next slide, please. So you can see and hear us, but we cannot see or hear you. There is a Q&A button at the top right of your screen. It looks like two conversation bubbles with a question mark. And so you can submit questions there and we will answer questions at the end of the session. Also, closed captioning is available in multiple languages. So if you need some extra language support, you can find the CC button and you can click that and choose your language so you can have the words printed across the bottom of your screen. But other than that, we will get started. Next slide, please.
Hi, good morning. Welcome and thank you for taking the time to join us today. Congratulations on your decision to study at UT Dallas. Next slide, please, Flower. My name is Leticia Samarripa. I'm Director of Global Engagement at UT Dallas, in charge of this department, Intercultural Programs Department. And this is the first session of a series of sessions as part of your international student orientation. We hope that you have had the chance as well to work on your online orientation models. You will save a lot of time and energy later if you do take the time to review them. We really encourage you to do it if you have not done so. The objective of these live sessions and of online orientation is to bring you the opportunity to learn about UT Dallas resources, hoping that you can find answers to your questions and engage on some of our programs. UT Dallas has, excuse me, a strong portfolio of co-curricular programs, and we hope that you will enjoy them. We want to make sure that you feel part of our community, not only in your classes, but also beyond your classes. Due to COVID-19, up to now, we are offering all our events and programs virtually. So you will have the opportunity starting now to join us from everywhere you are. Even if you have not started the semester yet, just feel free to join us and we will be letting you know about our coming events, hoping that you can join us. Next slide, please. To start with, I really, excuse me, would like to introduce you now by picture. Of course, you're gonna meet them in a little while, but I would like to let you know who our staff is. We have Katie Russo, known as Katie, our Assistant Director, Tamara West, our Program Coordinator, and Flower Mangui, our Student Worker, our International Peer Advocate. This is our staff, and I would like to share that we are a multicultural team. I am from Mexico, Katie is from the US, Tamara is from Jamaica, and Flower is from Kenya. We look forward to help you through your transition at UT Dallas. Next slide, please, Flower. I would like to share with you what it is that we do. And our mission as a department, I'll share it in a minute. Just as a fact, we are host at UT Dallas to over 4,000 international students, and we are very proud of this. We are very pleased that you have taken the decision to join UT Dallas. And our mission, talking about our mission, you are a very important part of our mission. As you can see in the slide, excuse me, Our mission is to promote opportunities that foster global engagement, and we have two main sections that we work on. The first one, and there you come, our mission is to support the integration of international students into campus life. And for that purpose, we offer transitional programs and some other support programs. We'll discuss it in a minute. Also, in promoting global engagement, we offer programs that increase intercultural competence. Why? Because we are a very global community at UT Dallas, we want to communicate effectively across the campus. So we do offer a lot of programs that promotes global engagement and intercultural competence. Those are the first two elements, the first key elements concerning our mission. And again, you are a very important part of our mission. We look forward to serve you, to help you, to support you. Before we talk about our services, I would like to acknowledge that we all know we are living extraordinary times. And we understand that you may have decisions to make and have important questions. We are aware that most of your questions relate. We have frequent questions concerning immigration, concerning academic contact, financial matters, and housing. And in a little bit, we're going to share some important websites just for you to contact those offices in case you need them, and we will share them on the chat. All units at UT Dallas are eager and ready to support you. So please do not hesitate to reach out for a specific question. This is why we are sharing with you those links and web pages. You might find specific information on your own if you wish, or if you don't know where to direct the question, just contact us and we can direct you in the right direction so you can find your answers. Of course, at the end of these sessions, we look forward to hear if you have any questions. We'll be happy to answer them. We know that there is still some uncertainty, for example, for some of you concerning if you will be able to get your visa. We hope so. We have heard that a lot of embassies and consulates little by little are opening up. So we really hope we get the opportunity for you to travel to Dallas next semester. We would like to start talking about specific services. So I would like to invite Katie Russo, our Assistant Director, to start sharing with you this information. Thank you very much and welcome again.
Thank you, Leticia. Like Leticia said, my name is Katie Russo. So first off, talking a little bit about our transitional programs. International Student Orientation is one of the biggest transitional programs that we do. And so right now it is typically we do in-person orientation, but this year it's online. And then we have these live orientation webinars. So you may have received an email talking about our orientation in e-learning. So we have an e-learning website for UT Dallas that allows you to go in and listen to some orientation modules, take a quick quiz to make sure you learned everything that's important, and then move on to the next one. It doesn't take very long, but we do encourage you to complete it, as it will answer a lot of your questions about course registration, where to find services on campus, all sorts of things. Even if you are going to be studying virtually or maybe not coming to the US quite yet, there's a lot of good information. So I encourage you to take a look at that. Additionally, we have several other live orientation sessions after this one, so I'll go over the next few coming up. But if you visit our International Student Orientation website, you can definitely take a look at that, and you can see a list of all of our live orientation sessions. And now I'm going to ask Tamara to come on and talk a little bit about the other transitional programs we do.
Sorry about that. I was not unmuted. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tamara West, and welcome to UT Dallas. Some other events that we do, we typically host a very large welcome party event that we do in collaboration with the Big Howdy team, and they are a community partner. This is usually done in fall. To welcome the students. We also, of course, have other events, as Leticia has mentioned, that support incoming international students, as well as help them transition into American culture. Another great opportunity that we have to support not only the international students, but also their family members as well, is we have a spouse and family group. And this is an active group that seeks to support the family members of international students. Quite often there is a lot of time and attention and outreach that is given to international students. However, if you are planning to bring your family here with you to the United States, know that they will need support as well, and it may be more support than you are able to give to them, right? So if you are the international student, you are getting information, you're talking to faculty and staff, but if you are bringing a dependent with you, we strongly advise that you get them connected to a group and that you get them plugged into a group so that they don't feel alone. So please know that they are welcome to be a part of the Spouse and Family group. They can be reached on Facebook. If you go to Facebook, UTD International Spouse and Family Group, connect with them there. Next slide, please. Some other ways that we support international students is that we help them connect with university resources here at UT Dallas. The university is kind of young compared to other universities. However, the plethora of resources that are here, I think you'll find to be very mind-blowing. We have a health center for students. We have a counseling center for students. We also have a gender center. We have the library. There are so many opportunities for students to gain access to a wealth of information that is going to help them develop not only academically, but also professionally. Also want to highlight our University Career Center. So there are so many opportunities for students to grow in every way possible. We also provide resources for students at UT Dallas to succeed. For example, our cultural student organizations is kind of one way that we do that. The cultural orgs help to support students in helping them to keep in touch with their culture, which is very important to students when they leave their hometown, because for many of you, it might be the first time that you are leaving your country or might be leaving your country for a very extended period of time. So we can help you connect with cultural organizations and as well other resources that we have we provide resources to these organizations to help them in their support of international students. Next slide, please. Okay, so we spoke about transitional programs. Let us talk a bit about some cultural programs that we have. These are two of our most popular programs. One of them is called iFriend. iFriend program is currently already in session for fall, but we will be opening for spring. So check back more towards spring 2021. But basically what iFriend is, it's a friendship pairing program, and that's where international and domestic students are paired together to get to learn about each other's cultures, and students meet up. We do have planned and scheduled events where people can join in and participate in, but for the most part, we allow people the chance to meet with their friends and to get to know their friends. So it's a great opportunity. And as I said, for the fall session, which of course is virtual, that has already started. But if you are interested and if you would like to get to meet an American friend or someone that is native to America, then I would really recommend the iFriend program. It's a great opportunity to learn about others. We also have iWeek, which is a huge, very, very large campus-wide event. This is usually held in about spring. This past spring, of course, we had a virtual event, but iWeek celebrates global diversity of UT Dallas. We have two like signature events. One is called Passport to the World, and that's where we see a lot of cultural organizations. And I mentioned cultural organizations earlier, and I'm mentioning them again because they are they're immeasurable. Their contributions are immeasurable to supporting international students, and so we work with them a lot. But Passport to the World is kind of like an expo where each cultural organization kind of sets up like a booth or a little area, and then they get to display various aspects of their cultures, including food, clothing, traditions, events. It's beautiful to see. We also have Global Talent Show, which is usually held towards the end of iWeek. Global Talent Show is an opportunity for individuals and cultural orgs as well to display their culture through performance art. So if you are talented in any way, or if you like to display your culture, please look into being a part of these events. The events that we have, and for information about that, you can go to utdallas.edu/iWeek. Next slide, please. Continuing with the cultural programs that we have. So of course, as Leticia mentioned, due to the circumstances that we're living in, we have been hosting many of our events on Instagram Live. It's a fun way to connect with people. It's a little bit more casual and informal. And Instagram Live lunches is one of the one type of events that we typically host. So for those of you who do have Instagram, we're asking you to please follow us. We can be found at UTD-ICP. Very short, very easy, and just follow us. I'm sure you will like the content that we put out. The content that we put out is not only for international students, it's for the entire campus, but I'm sure you will find that most of it will be interesting and applicable to you and your interests. So some examples of some of the past Instagram events we have done, we have interviewed faculty and staff to get to know more about either their areas of specialty or their office and their services, because as we mentioned before, there are so many services and resources here at UT Dallas. It's kind of hard to get to know all of them and what all of them do. So if you are interested in learning more about offices and their resources, then I highly recommend for you to check out our Instagram Live events. We also interview student organizations. They have worked so well with us so far, and they have loved sharing their culture with us. Some examples of student organizations events, we actually worked with Indian Student Association, otherwise known as ISA for short, and they have shared with us on Bollywood. What is Bollywood? And we've also worked with Chinese Student Association and Filipino Student Association. So if you are interested in learning about any culture, not just American culture, this is a great platform for you to do so. And once again, it's in a very casual and relaxed format. And we also share tips for international students. For example, actually today, if you are available at 1 p.m., We will be sharing what it is to eat and dine in America, and we'll be going over, just some little etiquette tips, and just also some other information that you might need to know. We typically also host cultural trips where we take students to very important or fun event sites. Of course, due to COVID-19, we're unable to do so. But in the future, then we hope to resume our normal programming in regards to that area. And we typically also provide a Thanksgiving lunch. However, for this semester, I don't think we will be offering Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving is typically in November, by the way. But due to COVID-19, we probably will not be doing that, but just to kind of show you what we typically have. And this is a very well attended event. We have international students, domestic students come out with their families to celebrate Thanksgiving, and they enjoy a very traditional Thanksgiving meal. And they also get to learn about the culture as well. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Tamara. So Leticia also mentioned that we support the globalization of UTD. So some of that is by intercultural competency. So we actually host workshops and training sessions for students, faculty, and staff members to introduce the concept of being an interculturally competent person. What does this mean? How can that help you in your career, in your life? Anything. We actually have a workshop coming up tomorrow that we will be doing an introduction to intercultural competence. Another thing we do is global engagement activities. And so we have a global engagement survey before we do many of these events, and then people take it after to see how they've grown and changed from our events. So iFriend is a good example. You can see how you have changed in your view and your skills in iFriend. We also have targeted events for global engagement. So our Instagram live events that Tamara is our main and our favorite program coordinator who runs them. She did the What is Bollywood event with ISA. So that's a great way for us to introduce other cultures to the campus. She has also hosted a few events that teach about intercultural competency and some of the study behind that and how that relates to your life. We've also partnered with offices such as the Student or the Campus Career Center, so we can work to make sure students know how to reflect this on their resume, because this is a skill that's very important. Next slide, please, Flower. And I will hand it back to Tamara.
Thank you, Katie. So once again, just to mention some of our upcoming events that you can absolutely take part in at this very moment. So these are the ones that, well, some of them are on Instagram and some of them are on Microsoft Teams, which is this very platform that we're using. But just some of what we have coming up. Actually, today at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, we'll be hosting Global Connections support. And this is an opportunity for international students to actually meet up with other international students and for them to just share on their experiences and what is happening in their life. We understand that a lot is happening in people's lives, and of course you are free to share as much as you're comfortable with sharing. We do this in collaboration with the Student Counseling Center, but we really just want to provide a space to let international students know that, you know, feel free to gather and it's okay to talk about what is happening in your life, you know, the great things and maybe the things that we might need help with. So hopefully if you are available at 10 a.m. today, we would love to see you. And for that link, because this will be a Teams event, so the link to that event, you can find that on our website at utdallas.edu/ICP. Or if you're on our Instagram, there's a link in our bio for that. As well, we'll also learning about eating and dining in the USA. That's one of the events that I mentioned earlier. Katie also mentioned tomorrow we'll be hosting Introduction to Intercultural Competence. And I really implore those of you who are available at this time, I know it will be at 1 p.m., please try to attend, because UT Dallas is a very diverse campus, and many of our students want to go out to be global leaders, and I know that you will all become so. However, it is important that if you are going to work in a global space or in a culturally diverse space, for you to understand those that you work with, right? It's very hard to lead an intercultural group, or even to interact in an intercultural space, but you don't have a lot of understanding of other cultures and their sensitivities. So I really implore you to turn out for this event, because there will be a lot for you to learn that you will eventually apply. You could literally use it the next day. So please don't hesitate if you are available. And this will be a Microsoft Teams event. And once again, our website is utdallas.edu/ICP for the information for how to be a part of that. And then also on the 27th, we'll be talking about personal and virtual safety. We'll be meeting with the UT Dallas Police Department and also information security, because in general, of course, we all want to be safe, whether we are physically walking around in a space or whether we are online. Unfortunately, there are some people that do try to target international students, or really they just try to target anyone to take advantage of maybe their lack of knowledge, right, in regards to how things might work in America. So we want you to be safe. We want your information to be safe. So come out for this event and learn what you need to do to protect yourself. Next slide, please. Okay, and this is our contact information. I know that we have shared a lot of information. If you have the moment right now, I would say go ahead and take a picture of the screen, or you can take a screenshot of this screen, so that way you will know how to contact us. Our email address is icprograms@utdallas.edu, and we typically respond within 48 hours. This is between Monday through Friday. Our telephone number, if you are able to call us, is on the screen, 972-883 I think it's actually 4043. That is one number that you can call. And then our webpage is utdallas.edu/ICP for intercultural programs. Once again, our Instagram is UTDICP. So if you have Instagram, just go ahead and follow us. You'll be hearing a lot from us anyway. So might as well go ahead and follow us, and you can see all of our flyers and posters and videos and stories that we have. And then also another thing, if you are unable to attend an Instagram live event, the live events get uploaded to our main page on IGTV. So if you are unable to make an event, just go to our IGTV and you'll be able to rewatch the event there. And of course, we're on Facebook, facebook.com/UTDICP. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Tamara. So I mentioned that I'd share our upcoming orientation sessions. So all of our live sessions are at 8:30 in the morning. This is for international student orientation sessions. And so next week on Wednesday, the 28th of October, we have paying your tuition and fees. Everyone's favorite topic, right? Everybody wants to pay tuition and fees. So we will have a representative from the Bursar office, which is the office in charge of processing tuition and fees. So you can learn about tuition plans, how to pay your tuition, how to set up a payment plan, and everything else that they offer from their office. And so I highly encourage you to come, because I know that paying tuition and fees can be quite different in the United States versus your home country. And then the week after that, Tuesday, November 3rd, we have virtual learning at UTD. So I know some of you might be choosing to study online, or that might be something that we need to factor in for next semester. We're not sure, right? And so we have representatives from the JSOM Business School and Engineering and Computer Science to learn about those resources and recommendations for you as you are studying virtually. And honestly, these resources are available to all students, whether they're virtual or in person. And they have wonderful tips for students to stay on top of tasks and to make sure that they are doing well in their classes. So this would be a really great session for anybody to attend, even if you are not choosing to study online. So we really hope to see you, or I guess that you will see us, turn out for one of these upcoming orientation sessions. And now I think we have opened the question box. And so if you want to type in your questions, you can do that. Next slide, please. Yes. And so we have added a few links. So while Tamara was going over it, I made sure to add our contact information so you can easily access that. If you have any questions, please add them to the Q&A section and we will be happy to respond to them. I know a lot of you might have questions about immigration. That's not something that our office actually is in charge of. So we don't process I-20s or issue them, anything like that, but you can contact the ISSO, the International Student Services Office. That's often a question that we get here, and maybe we can put their contact information. Let's see. Yes, immigration questions. Look at that. So our fearless leader, Leticia, gave us a lot of information that we can post. And so we can post those links that she has added about academic advisors and how to find them. Your academic advisor is such a wonderful resource. Oh, good. Tamara posted the immigration contact. So if you have any questions about getting your I-20 or your DS 2019, any immigration documents, you know, what do you need to do in order to show a financial affidavit to get your I-20? Anything. Go ahead and send an email to issoperspective@utdallas.edu. They also have a lot of information on their webpage. Their information, or their webpage, is just so full of information. I highly recommend taking a look at it. And of course, taking a look at our webpage, because we have a lot of great resources for new students. We have a new student checklist, so you'll know exactly what are the most important things you need to get done before you get to the US and after you come to the US. So please review our website. I highly encourage it. So far, we have no questions. We'll stay on the line for a little while. Don't worry if you need some time to think of your question.
Katie, I would like to add something. Usually international students wait to find housing until the visa is granted. And I know it has its logic. It's important first to have the visa. However, I would like to share with you, housing on campus has a lot of demand. A lot of people want to live on campus, but I would like to share with you that right now, if you apply right now, there is availability to live on campus. So my recommendation is, if you are interested to live on campus, please do apply as soon as possible, because later on might be difficult. I think we're sharing already. Tamara, could you share the availability website for housing? You did.
Tamara did. It's
Okay.
posted in the Q&A.
Yes, okay. So this is just for reference. A lot of international students also choose to live off campus, which is okay. And we already talked about the cultural organizations. They can be a great resource for you for reference in terms of living off campus. On our webpage, you can navigate our webpage, and in pre-arrival resources, we offer some information as well concerning on-campus and off-campus facilities. So please, if you are interested in living on campus, do apply as soon as possible. Thank you.
Like I said, we're going to leave the session open for a little while longer so you can ask your questions. I agree with Leticia. Housing is usually very limited on campus, and so I encourage you to apply ahead of time if you are interested in living on campus. Plus, on-campus housing is so convenient. You're right on campus, you're close to food, you're close to your classes and all the fun stuff that's going on. Absolutely. I'm not seeing any questions. I want to encourage you to take a look at the academic advisors link that Tamara has posted. So a question I often get from international students is, how can I register for classes? I need to register for classes. So registering for classes in the United States or at UTD might be very different than what it's like to register for classes in your home country's institution. And so it's very important that you talk to an academic advisor first. In fact, you have a hold on your account that says cannot register online, and that means that you have to speak with your academic advisor, and that is up to the department if they want to do an in-person appointment or maybe a virtual appointment like one of these. So please make use of your academic advisor because they have so much information to give you and will be very helpful. Let's see.
Okay, Katie, we actually...
Oh, go ahead.
We actually have 2 questions that are in the chat. Well, I'm not sure. One of them seems to be more of a comment, but thank you for those of you who have posted in the chat. It's from Priyam. It says, thank you, ma'am. The session was very informative. I want to inquire regarding the events schedule for ICP events. Also, I wish I could join ICP team and serve the ICP. Is there any opportunity? Katie, would you like me to answer that? Okay, so thank you once again for your question regarding the schedule of events for ICP. If you visit our website, utdallas.edu/ICP, our events, all of our events that we have planned for the rest of the semester are available there. That's one way to see a schedule of our events. Another way to do so is if you have Instagram. If you go to UTD ICP, you'll be able to see our upcoming events. In regards to opportunities to work with intercultural programs, we do have we do typically have, I would say, in the normal world before COVID, when we had a lot more in-person events, we typically do ask for volunteers. So for example, we mentioned iWeek, which is a campus-wide event. We typically ask for volunteers to work that event because it is a very large event. And also for orientation, we would have opportunities to hire orientation pairs, is what we call them, to assist with setting up our orientation events. However, due to us working from home and not really having those in-person events, then our need for such help we don't really have it at the moment. But whenever we do have opportunity, once again, the best place to find out would be our Instagram. So we would post and say, we're hiring for orientation pairs, which is to assist with orientation, or we are seeking volunteers to help us with iWeek. So that would be the best way, I would say, to find out what opportunities are available. So the short answer is, if we do have opportunities available, then we will post them and we will advertise them on our social media, so that way we can have you be a part of the ICP team. So thank you so much for wanting to be a part of what we are doing on the campus. Okay,
Tamara,
so yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I just posted a link. Thank you for answering. I've been having trouble with my mic today, guys. I posted a link to the Comet calendar and to the list of all the ICP events. So the Comet calendar is the university's event calendar. And so take a look at it, because you'll be able to find events all across campus, virtual, and some in person, but mostly virtual this semester. But this one links directly to all the ones that we have put on the calendar. So that's a good way for you to find out all of our events.
Yes. And we do have one more question, which I'll actually redirect to Katie. The question says, I have completed all the spring 2021 modules, but in e-learning, it shows few more modules are going to be added. So Katie, do you know if we will be adding any additional modules in e-learning? I don't think so.
No, we will not be adding any additional modules. So in e-learning for the spring 2021 students, you should see, let me just double check. I think it's 6 modules. And then once you complete all 6 modules, you should see a little printout that says Certificate of Completion, and it will have your name and net ID. And so if you have completed all 6 modules, then that's fine. We might not have mentioned this year yet, but International Student Orientation, even the online one for this semester, for fall 2020 and spring 2021 students, is not mandatory, but it is highly recommended. So I applaud you for completing the orientation modules, so I encourage all of you to do the same, but you should have completed 6 modules. And so there might be one that you weren't able to complete yet. And that could be the reason why you're seeing that there's going to be more modules. We also have a folder in the International Student Orientation e-learning called Additional Resources. And so this is simply documents that some offices have given us, maybe important calendars or things that we traditionally will give out to students during orientation, but think that you might find useful. So there's some tuberculosis test forms. So if you need to get that taken care of once you get to the US, you can print them out from there. There's also a schedule of workshops that are happening this fall for the Writing Center and many others.
Thank you, Katie. And for those of you, well, for that person that wrote the question, if you still are having issues with either advancing or just having issues with e-learning, if you would like to take a screenshot of the exact problem you're having, or either the error message that you are getting, you can do so, and you can email it to us at icprograms@utdallas.edu, and hopefully we'll be able to help you troubleshoot this matter. We do have one more question that came in from Dhruvi Patel. Dhruvi says, I'm a PhD student. Yay, congratulations to you. And I want to know more about finding my academic advisor for PhD students. So Dhruvi, what I would tell you is if you go to, we posted some links in the chat, and there's one that has to do with how to find your academic advisor. I know you're saying academic advisors for PhD students, but the link that we posted will be how to find your academic advisor, whether you are a PhD student or a non-PhD student. So I would highly suggest to use that link. And another tip, and I'm so glad you asked about your academic advisor, because here at UT Dallas you might have several different advisors. You might have an immigration advisor and an academic advisor. So that is very good that you communicated that. So moving forward, whenever anyone who's listening, if you are talking to someone and you're asking about advising, just make sure to clarify if you want to know if it's academic advising or like an immigration advisor, because you will have both here at UT Dallas and they're typically not the same person. So it would be good to clarify. But I suggest checking out the link that we posted in the chat for how to find or how/where to find your academic advisor.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to mention, when you click on that link, you'll see a link for, I think it's undergraduate and graduate students. So as a PhD student, you should click on the graduate advisors link because you are a graduate level. Now you're a PhD, but you're not an undergraduate. So you should click on the graduate, and then you'll see a long list of schools, majors, and then it'll have an option to click for either master's or PhD. And so you can click on your major and your degree level, and it will take you to an information page about your department and your degree, and it will either give you a contact for the department or will specifically say, this person is your academic advisor. And so you can always email the academic department with your question and say, I'd like to speak with an academic advisor. Who should I speak with? And they'll direct you to the right person.
Thank you for that clarification, Katie. We actually do have one more question that came in from Rutvik Dixit. Oh, I'm sorry, that name is probably very mispronounced. Rutvik Dixit. Okay, Rutvik, I tried. The question says, when will we know the final decision about whether the classes will be on or off campus? And if the modality is on campus, what are the steps taken to ensure safety for students?
If I would like to answer that. There are factors right now that are still playing a role in defining how the spring semester will look like. However, in general, for an international student to start the first semester at UT Dallas, you would need to have some courses face-to-face for them to grant you your visa. More information about visa is better if you contact the International Student Service Office, which is the ISSO or Immigration Office. Now, last semester or this semester in early fall, for the students that were abroad and could not join us, there was a category that was managed for the first time, and it was called Virtual Start, which means that those students that could not travel or did not get their visa could start virtually their degree, and later on, as consulates and embassies open, they of course are trying right now to get their visa to come here. But in other words, the final word for that will be, again, your academic advisor. Each program offers different alternatives in terms of how many courses they will be offering face-to-face, which are the courses that they will be offering online. So for specific questions about your academic possibilities, either virtually or face-to-face, I encourage you to please contact your academic advisor because it may vary from department to department. Thank you very much, but I'm sure they can have options for you. We are very aware of the situation and the circumstances all over the world, actually. So we are doing our best to satisfy the needs of our students and especially our international students. Thank you.
Thank you, Leticia. And I just wanted to let you know, I put 2 links in the chat. So one is the university's COVID-19 update page. And so this is where you can actually find the most recent updates about what the university may have changed or altered in their schedule or anything like that, based on the current situation of COVID-19 in Texas. And so there's a latest update section. There's also sections for resources for students or Q&As, frequently asked questions, things like that. So if a decision is made that class or depend about the modalities of classes, it will likely be posted here pretty quickly. So you can monitor this page, but also your academic advisor and your academic department are a very good resource to talk about that as well. And Leticia mentioned in fall 2020 that students were given an option to start virtually from their home countries. So I posted that webpage from ISSO. Please keep in mind that this was definitely approved for fall 2020. We're uncertain about spring 2021 yet, but you can at least see on this webpage what were the allowances, what were the questions students had, what information that you can gather if that is something that you may be allowed to do for spring 2021.
And we're very glad we're having these questions. I just would like to encourage you, if not now, please feel free to contact us at our ICP IC programs email that we already posted on the chat. And reach out to us sometimes, and we understand being an international student, things may look different here, and we really would like to be a department that can support you, as we mentioned at the beginning, through your transition and give you orientation about who to contact or where to go when you have a specific need. So we welcome your questions and we celebrate you are actually posting your questions now.
Thank you. We do have one more question. This is in regards to COVID-19. It says, is there a COVID-19 quarantine protocol in place for incoming international students?
Yes, there was a protocol for fall students. We are in the process of verifying the specific protocol for spring. And once we have it, we will make sure to send it to you through email. All of you must have received an email where we provide this information about orientation and other important information. We last semester or this semester, students, for example, that were going to join us face-to-face or at the residence hall, yes, they needed to have the protocol of quarantine. I'm guessing we will continue with that, but I cannot give you a definite answer at this moment. We will do so as soon as possible. We're still kind of early in the semester, and as things are evolving, we are going to be deciding that soon.
I just saw that Rutvik, your question also asked of what are the steps taken to ensure safety for students who are taking in-person classes? And I don't think we specifically answered that piece of it. Maybe we did and I missed it, but all people who go to campus right now have to wear a face mask. Social distancing is required. And so some of the things they've done in classrooms is to reduce the class size. So maybe on Monday and Wednesday, only 1/3 of the class goes to class that day. And then on Tuesday and Thursday, 1/3 of the class goes to class that day, something like that. And they rotate going to class to make the physical class size left. They also have seats taped off, so you can't sit directly next to someone. You have to be, they've measured it and made sure you're at least 6 feet away from the classmate next to you and in front of you and in behind you. And so there are a lot of things that UT Dallas is doing, plus they're having very strict cleaning and safety protocols in between classes and between when students are off campus. So I hope that answers that part of your question. But it looks like we are just about done. Tamara, do we have any more questions? No, we do not. Okay, well, we have just a few minutes left. Flower, can you go back maybe 2 slides to our contact information slide, just so you guys have the picture of it again? Perfect. So please, if your question didn't get answered or you need more clarification, you can send us an email. Tamara mentioned that we always respond within 2 days, 2 business days. And so please send us an email. We try to respond more quickly than that. But please know that sometimes we get a little bit busy. And I also posted our most updated phone number in the chat. It's I don't know why this slide has a different one. And then our webpage has so many resources for new students. So please take a look at it and follow us on Instagram. Tamara is our Instagram star. If you would like to go to our event today, she and I will be talking about eating in the USA. So I am looking forward to that. But we are so glad that you came today. And if you have any more questions, please send us an email. But if not, we will see you next week. Thank you.